Welcome to COVER1 Hoops. I'm your host, Matt Trammell, as always, but we got two guys with us who got all the basketball news, and that would be James Bellini and Ryan Chadwick. Chadwick, we'll bring you in first. How was your week? I know there was a little bit of sketchiness in the basketball schedule, but we made it work, right?
Oh, yeah. Tuesday and Wednesday were a little rough for me. There was nothing to cover, but games came back yesterday, and then we got a big list of matchups tonight.
Awesome. And James, what about you? I know that you still traveled a little bit even in this rough snow.
Yeah, you know, they canceled games on Tuesday and Wednesday, but they've moved games to Saturday, and they had games scheduled on Thursday that they moved to Saturday. So we've got a whole bunch of things that are going to go on, you know, just this weekend. I know Cristobal moved their game from Thursday to Saturday, and tonight we've got Miles, we've got Wall, we've got Central played last night, I believe.
So. Yeah, we have a ton of action. Of course, the Bobcats also play tonight. And speaking of them, we're going to start with them. So let's talk about the San Angelo Central Bobcats and the Lady Bobcats. They have a very, very crucial game for them for their basketball season. Ryan, let's talk about it. Let's start with the Lady Cats.
All right. Lady Cats is not as crucial for them, but they did win sole possession of second place in their district with their win last night over the Middle Legacy Rebels. But with that being said, they need to win out to finish 8-2 for any chance at that district title. Friendship needs to drop a game, of course, for the Lady Cats to challenge that. But this is a very doable scenario if the Lady Tigers lose, because the rest of the Lady Cat schedule is pretty weak, and they're sitting pretty at 6-2, riding that 6-game win streak.
Yeah, 6 games in a row. That's pretty big. I know that it's not easy to do, and sometimes you can get in that district season where stuff's kind of happens. You see crazy buzzer beaters and all this kind of stuff. So stuff like that can happen, and we haven't seen this really with the Lady Cats. James, do you like them moving on in the playoffs? Are we looking for maybe a deep run out of those guys?
Yeah, they're on a 6-game winning streak, so why not? I mean, they win out, they win district, and that's just only going to bode well for them. So yeah, I think they can go pretty far.
Absolutely. And then moving on to the boys' side, that's where things are getting a little sketchy. We're not talking about district championships with them right now. We're talking about getting into the playoffs. So Chadwick, what do the Bobcats have to do to make sure that they can secure a spot to the dance?
Well, they need to beat the Permian Panthers tonight in their first matchup against them at home. Permian went nuts. They shot over 80% in the second half. Got beat pretty soundly after Permian dropped 50 points in that second half. So they need to win. They started off District 1 and 3, and they've kind of corrected that with wins over Friendship and Odessa Permian, wins over Friendship and Middle Legacy. I'm sorry. And no one expected them to beat Legacy as they're a ranked team. Or I said that wrong again. No one expected them to beat Friendship, as Friendship is a ranked team, first place in district.
Yeah, it came down
to
a buzzer beater.
But they did. Yeah, beat them in overtime.
Yep.
So
exactly.
Very up and down roller coaster for Central right now.
Yep, 3-3, sitting right at 500.
Get more consistent, and good things will happen to you.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out how that one goes. Guys, we're going to go ahead. I want some picks. I want some predictions on tonight's game. James, we will start with you. Who are we thinking for tonight's action for the Lady Cats and for the Bobcats as they're taking on Odessa Permian?
No, I'm going to go Central in both these games. I'm going to go Lady Cats. They're going to extend their winning streak. They're going to try to secure that district title. And the boys, they're riding 2-game winning streak. They're riding high right now. I think they're going to go get a win. And I think that they're going to get, I think they're going to get in the playoffs. And I think they're going to be probably the second or third seed.
All right, that's not probably too far-fetched. I think the Lady Cats get it done tonight. I think they're moving this to a 7-game streak, and they're just going to keep on rolling as the season's kind of winding down here. For the boys, though, however, I think they got a little bit of a tough matchup in this one. I think that this one's going to be a bad one for the boys. I'm going to guess that they're not going to win big. They're not going to lose big time. I think this is a 56-50 ball game. Chadwick, throw into you.
I'm going to pick both Central teams in this one. The Panthers shouldn't have beat the Bobcats the first time around in the first place, so let's just start there. For the boys, I'm going to say that they don't just kind of feel like they have to keep up in this second half. I think that their defense is actually going to affect shooters. They're not going to be able to put crazy shots up that just fall in. They've been playing sound defense. They beat Friendship, and of course they beat Middle Legacy last night, like by 40 points. So I'm going to take Central in this one, 58-45. And for the Lady Cats, they're going to win by 20 plus.
Yeah, I see that happening too. Okay, moving on, we're going to go down, staying in Tom Green County, moving down to Wall America over there. Going to be a good matchup between them and the Coahoma Bulldogs. Ladies and boys will be in action tonight. So, Chadwick, bouncing back to you. The Wall Hawks have had trouble with this team in the past, so what are we thinking tonight?
Well, they lost their first matchup, and that was kind of a wake-up call for this Wall team. Since then, that they've been playing really well. They've only lost one other game besides that, and that was to, of course, the first-place TLCA Eagles. But I like Wall's chances a little bit better tonight. They always play well at home. They got a really good crowd, and I think that their playmakers, Everson Armstrong, Ogden Hallmark, they're going to have good games. And I pick Wall in this one. But yeah, they'll just play better.
Yeah, I think that we kind of talked to Coach Dawson, and he is really focused in on this game. And if you stay tuned, you'll hear that interview in a couple minutes. But he is really focused on making sure that his guys knows that this game matters more than probably that TLCA game at the end of the year, because got to win this one first to make sure that you have a shot at that district title game. James, what are you thinking between this matchup?
I think this game's just like Coach Dawson said, it's just important, because you look at the rest of their schedule. They got Gym Ned coming up. They've got TLCA coming up. They need to win these games, and the pressure's on them.
Absolutely. And then looking on the girls' side of things, James, they lost last week. We're talking about a state-ranked team losing to the Ballinger Lady Cats. Did you see it coming?
No, I did not. It's kind of shocking. I talked to what's her name, Brylan Watts. After they understand. They have a good team there, but losing that game, it hurts. But Merkel's good. You need to keep winning these games. That's part of it. You got 3 state-ranked teams in that district. Jim Ned, Wall, and Merkel. So
yeah, and then those little smaller schools in that, the ones that aren't maybe on top, they're still gonna be dominant teams because they're having to play really tough competition all night. Chadwick, what was the first thing that came to your mind when you saw that score?
At first, of course, just like everyone, I was shocked. But when I remember that their first time when they hosted the Lady Bearcats, that game was close. That was the week before that we had Coach McSherry on the show, and he was telling us how bad that the Lady Bearcats wanted to beat them because he used to be the coach over there. So the Bearcats, or the Lady Bearcats, finally got their revenge game, and honestly, it looked like and ended up being a trap game for the Lady Hawks, and so they just need to get back on track. They need a dominant win tonight over Coahoma just to maintain their position, because right now they're at 3rd place in district.
Yeah, how much did that really affect? Is that loss going to affect them down the road? We're talking about seedings.
I mean, Merkel pulled ahead of them.
There you go. So I guess so. But they got another game tonight. They're going to be taking on Coahoma. Is this going to be a get-right game for them?
I definitely think this is going to be a get-right game for the Lady Hawks.
All right, then let's go ahead and get some picks going. Chadwick, we will start with you. Give me your girls' prediction, then your boys, and scores for both.
I think that Coach McSherry is going to have these ladies on a wake-up call, especially after yesterday. He's basically going to say, look, we got to win these games. You know how to play. You know what kind of team we are, and the Lady Hawks are going to win this one in pretty dominant fashion. I'm going to pick the Lady Hawks by 20.
All right, Lady Hawks by 20. What about the boys?
Boys, like I said, they lost the first time. They've been playing really well since then. I honestly think that the Wall Hawks will win this one. But again, Coahoma's a feisty team. This one's going to be a little bit closer, but I'm still going to pick the Hawks by 5.
All right, James, let's go to you. What are your picks?
I agree with you on the Hawks there, Chad. I think it's going to be a close game. Again, they're a good team, but Wall's on a mission. They need to. I was at that TLCA Wall game. The atmosphere on that Wall sideline was not super great after that. They felt like they really dropped one there. So they're on a mission to go out and win this one. The ladies, they're going to get right. You're playing a game on Thursday. You're playing a game on Friday. This stuff doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. That's the way you got to look at it. They're going to get right too. They're going to win that one. 10, 15 points.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as you guys. I think Wall's getting a double win tonight. I think they're both winning by at least 15. I think the girls may end up winning by 25. I think that right now is the time where both of these, of course, teams that have programs that know how to win championships, whether it be any sport. So all these kids, they know when it's time to really turn it on, when to get really serious. We talked to Coach Dawson. You'll hear him in a second. He said, right now, we're playing playoff games. We're not waiting until it's playoff time. We're playing playoff games right now. And so for that, I'm going to go ahead and say that Wall wins both of those. Guys, any more thoughts on these games before we go to Coach Dawson?
Again, Wall doesn't need to rely on the three-pointer. That's when it gets him into trouble. It got him into trouble against TLCA. Got him into trouble against Clyde. They need to use their big bodies. That they're usually bigger than any team they play. That they got to drive the paint. They got to score on the boards.
All right. Well, and with that, I will go ahead and pitch it to Coach Dawson there. Ryan, you spoke with him for a little bit, so we'll go to that. But before, here's a word from our sponsors, Jim Bass Ford.
Hey folks, Todd Price from Jim Bass Ford. Have you noticed the last couple of years cars and trucks have been overpriced? Well, not anymore. At Jim Bass, we have a slew of F-150s priced around $4,000 off MSRP. And my Uncle Perk used to tell me, Todd, opportunities are never lost. Somebody takes the ones you miss. Don't y'all miss this one. Jim Bass Ford, Houston Hart and Hardin Road, or 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
I'm here with head coach of the Wall Hawks basketball team, Travis Dawson. Coach, how you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, of course. We always like having head coaches on our show. Big win last night. It was a little bit of a weird situation considering the winter storms and the makeup games, but you traveled to Ballinger and kind of just tell us what happened, Coach.
Yeah, a little bit weird. No practice the last couple of days, obviously, with all the ice and everything, but thought the guys reacted well. I thought we played pretty well and shot the ball well and came out and played hard and took care of business and did what we need to get the win and move on and keep us in pretty good shape in the district race.
Oh, yeah, Coach. And, y'all's district is so tight right now. It looks like TLCA's got one loss, and then y'all and Jim Ned are sitting right there with two. The district really is going to come down to that final game at TLCA at the end of the season. What are you telling your guys right now, as you're closing it out?
Well, right now, we're just trying to take it one game at a time. I know everybody's really excited about potentially playing TLC and the implications of that, but we got to take care of business or that game's not going to mean very much. And that starts tonight with Coahoma. And if we take care of business, then it goes on to Merkel. And that's really the message we're sending. And hopefully we can do that. Last time we didn't take care of business against Coahoma, and they took it to us a little bit. So we got to be sure we come out with our mindset right and go attack this game the way we're supposed to.
And, Coach, last night I saw that Ogden Hallmark was y'all's leading scorer again, coupled with guys like Logan Thomas and, of course, Everson Armstrong. What does that mean to you as a coach when, you coach defensively, y'all's defense is so good, but having that shot on the outside that you can always rely on?
Well, it's really big because, hopefully we play good defense. And if you can score the ball and have a shooter on the outside, that just opens up so much inside and attacking the paint. And, having a shooter like that is, it's irreplaceable, so to speak. So obviously that's a big thing. And getting points on the board and playing good defense usually leads to some wins. So that's what we're trying to do.
All right, Coach, and you have a guy in Everson Armstrong. He signed with the ASU Rams, gonna be playing basketball for the next 4 years somewhere else. What has it been like coaching a talented athlete like that?
Well, it's first of all, a kid like that, smaller school, you could easily have a kid kind of get a big head and not want to be coached and not want to be a great teammate. And so before all you see on the court that he does and everything, he's just a great kid. He's well-grounded. His parents have done a great job raising him and a great job of just letting him be coached and letting him grow on his own. And that's the thing I most respect is the type of teammate he is and type of kid he is. And, I could just go on and on about all that. It's been so wonderful to coach a kid that has that opportunity, but is keeping his head on straight, and just wanting to help the team in any way, shape, or form, and not being selfish and not being real cocky about everything. It's been a real good experience, and real fun to coach him.
And Coach, I see that on the floor because I've pretty much watched every single one of y'all's home games this year. It was during that barn burner that was y'all versus Clyde, and that game was close throughout, and y'all pulled out the victory in the end. But right before that final couple of possessions, I just see y'all going back and forth. Is that kind of what you're talking about there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He again, we'll talk to each other about things, but when it comes to it, he knows his role as a player and where he stands, and he has a lot of responsibility with his name being out there and the type of player he is and his role on our team, and he understands that and accepts it, and he relishes in it, and I think he's really excelling and playing really good ball of late.
And Coach, we all know that you're going to need him tonight. Of course, Wall takes on Coahoma at home, out there at Wall High School tonight, immediately following the girls, probably around 7:45, might be a little bit later, 8 o'clock, depending how the girls' game goes. So, of course, come out and support the Wall Hawks tonight as they pursue that district title. Coach, let's say, all things considered, everything goes well. You come up against the last two games of the season in Gym Ned and TLCA. What is it going to take from your team to get over that final hurdle at TLCA?
Well, it's going to, again, we got to take care of business before that point. But if we do get to that point, it's just got to be go attack it like we do any other game. They're a really good team. They're playing really well. They got a really cohesive group that's all pulling in the same direction. And, they're on top of the district right now. And if we come to that point, we're going to have to go over there and play really good basketball and value every single possession on both ends of the floor and just play together and give them our best shot. And hopefully we get to that chance. And if we do, we're going to give it everything we got. And, I have confidence in my guys to go over there and play well. And that's what it's going to take, to say the least.
And Coach, what does it mean? That's like a serious level of competition as y'all enter the playoffs, because you're pretty much at the point where this team's going to go to playoffs. What is that going to do for y'all playing those last two talented opponents entering the playoff race?
Those are basically playoff games to us. You're playing playoff caliber teams that are really good and have a chance to go deep in the playoffs, and you're battling for position. The better position as you enter the playoffs. So those are essentially playoff games. So you're getting battle tested, both mentally, physically, and the way you execute and the way you play defense. Those experiences you can't replace until you go through them. And the first time we played TLC, the first time we went to Gym Ned, those experiences have helped us improve to where we are at this point. And once we come out on the other side of those games, hopefully it does the same, where it makes us even better as we enter the playoffs, and we're prepared for that level of competition.
Forged by fire and all that, right, Coach?
Exactly.
All right, Coach, a couple more questions here. Other than Everson Armstrong, I know you have several really talented players on this team. Talk about a couple of them real quick, just so we can get their names out there to all the fans at home.
Well, you mentioned Ogden. Ogden, a hallmark for us. He's playing really well, shooting the ball really well. Jack Duncan, he's a junior now, been on varsity since he was a freshman. He really runs the team for us and takes care of the ball and makes shots for us from the outside. And then Logan Thomas down low. Does all the dirty work for us, plays extremely hard, gets on the boards, and then three sophomores that play a lot for us, and Brylan White and Lane Stansberry and Caleb Braden chipping in and doing their role that it provides every game.
Oh, and Lane's a player. That's one of the guys that I see come off the bench, and every time he comes onto the court, he makes an immediate impact, whether it's on the defensive side of the ball or the offensive. Kid can drive into the paint, and he can definitely shoot a three too.
Yes, he's a about 6'4", so he's got good size, and he's really, really skilled. So we're really excited about where he's at right now, and also what the future holds for him. So I agree with everything you said. He's going to be a really, really good player for us.
Oh, and Coach, important to note, 6'4" for now. You did say he was a sophomore, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir. So hopefully 6'6", 6'7", who knows?
Yeah.
Good point.
Wouldn't that be awesome? All right, Coach, final question here, just so we get to know you as a coach a little bit more. Whenever you were growing up or whenever you started coaching, who was your favorite team to follow in the NBA or college? And then what kind of team coach helped you mold your own coaching philosophy?
Right. Well, the teams I liked to watch growing up, NBA was the Spurs, watching Robinson and Duncan and Parker and Ginobili and those guys. They were really, really fun to watch and really good for a long time. College, I'm a UT fan, so still am. Grew up that way, so I'm really enjoying this season right now. They're playing really good. So those are my favorite basketball teams. And then just as far as coaching, going back to my high school coach, Coach Short, and then I coached in college. Coach Patillo coached me also, and then I was an assistant at Waco Midway under Rusty Walker and Jeff Bell, and those guys have really shaped me as far as just how to be a coach, how to handle circumstances, how to run a team, how to run a practice, and I can't ever repay them enough for all they did in those regards.
Well, we always love to hear that, Coach. But although I will say you're breaking my heart a little bit. I'm a Texas Tech Red Raider, born and raised, graduated, and then y'all stole our coach. And hey, that worked out for the better, I guess, for both of our parties. But
may have been y'all in the end.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And again, everyone out there, Wall plays tonight at Wall High School against the Coahoma Bulldogs. Girls start at 6:15, so come out and support our Hawks. Okay. Thanks for coming on, Coach.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Hey folks, Todd Price from Jim Bass Ford. Have you noticed the last couple of years cars and trucks have been overpriced? Well, not anymore. At Jim Bass, we have a slew of F-150s priced around $4,000 off MSRP. And my Uncle Perk used to tell me, Todd, opportunities are never lost. Somebody takes the ones you miss. Don't y'all miss this one. Jim Bass Ford, Houston Hart and Hardin Road, or 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
All right, that was Coach Dawson with the Wall Hawks head coach of the Wall Hawk boys basketball team. Chadwick, what did you think about that interview? Learn anything new?
Well, I mean, it's always a pleasure talking to Coach Dawson, and I've been at so many Wall Hawks games this year already that me and him get to talk every week. So this was more like we were just sitting down and just hashing out again what we usually do. Something about the Wall Hawks coaches, Coach Guy's another one. Like you sit there and you talk to them for 2 minutes, it turns into 20. Like they're just all super open. Super excited about their program and the community. But learned a little something new. I did not know he was a Longhorn, so.
There you go.
Had to hold that against him.
All right, let's move on, guys. We're going to stay in the district, and we will be talking about the Wall Hawks. We'll be talking about the TLCA Eagles, who will be taking on the Ballinger Bearcats. Ballinger coming off a loss against Wall Hawks, against Wall, but they'll be playing TLCA. Guys, are we thinking there's going to be any trouble in this one? James, we'll start with you.
No. Just simply no.
No.
TLCA about $1 million. They are damn good. They are not stopping for anybody. I talked to Kent Sherrill, their head coach at Wall, when they played out there, and he said that TLCA kind of feels like that, that redhead stepchild in San Angelo. They don't get a lot of respect, and now he's part of this movement there at TLCA to surge, and now they are actually playing very good basketball. They are in control in this district, and that's why the end of this district between them, Jim Ned, and Wall is going to be really good games.
Chadwick, what are you thinking about this?
I'm thinking that TLCA just doesn't need to, fall into the trap of, this team isn't as good as
right. We saw the girls, the Ballinger girls beat the Wall Hawk girls, so anything is possible. Right. So I mean, this could be one of those trap games.
No. Yeah, but other than that, TLCA is gearing up for a deep playoff run. This is a team that during tournament season was playing 5 and 6As exclusively. They played the Bobcats. They played El Paso schools. They played a couple guys from Killeen. So this isn't a TLCA team that is afraid of anybody. Hopefully, it's not a David and Goliath moment where they overestimate the Bearcats, but they're just a better team than Ballinger this season.
All right, James, I'm going to start with you. I need some picks and predictions. We'll keep it like a little light on the girls' side, but for the boys, go into a little bit of detail on that.
TLCA, don't get too cute with it, but you're by shoot 20 points. What are we thinking? 10, 15 points. You're probably going to put your backups in. I don't know. We said that against some other teams. They never did. So, they're just going to win by like 20 points. I mean, they're just good. I think, they're talking about banging the drum in Austin, so.
Yep, and they have a really, really tough crowd to play when you got to go play at TLCA because they are one of those only schools with a band, and man, not only that, but they really do pack them in there, so it should be loud in there, should be a good one. I'm going to say TLCA 76, Ballinger 58, 18-point game there, and Chad, what are you thinking for it?
I'm going to go in the complete, extreme of that. I didn't get the shutout last week, although Coach Sherrill tried. He kept those starters in, and they put up 100 for me, but they didn't quite give me the shutout. But I'm going to say this week won't be as bad as last week when they played Great Creek, but I'm going to say that like I've watched them play the first time when TLCA won by like 28 or 29. I'm going to say at home, TLCA wins by 40. I'm going to say TLCA 90, Ballinger 50. Maybe 50, maybe.
All right. Well, that's a little bit of TLCA and Ballinger there, but we're going to keep going here to our
Miles.
The last one here, we got Miles. Miles is, James, go ahead and take away that one. Pitch for that one.
Miles is playing Coleman tonight. They didn't have a Tuesday game. I think they got moved to Saturday, I believe. But they're playing Coleman tonight. The first time they played Coleman, I heard from somebody who was there, with like 3 seconds left in the game, Coleman put up a shot, put 2 up, it put them ahead. Their bench cleared. Their cheerleaders stormed the court. Should have been technicals, didn't get called. They put 1 second on the clock, and with 1 second, you just got to chunk something up, And Miles ended up losing that one. So this one's in Miles. I think this is going to be a really great game. I think Miles might pull this one out, but it's a tough one, But Coach Butts runs a very aggressive, defense. He doesn't really care about. I've talked to him last year. He doesn't really care about the offense. I've filmed for this guy for a long time too. The points will come. They'll all fall. He's just worried about playing really strong, solid defense, pressing the whole time. The kids really enjoy his style. So. This is going to be a really good game in Miles tonight.
Yeah, it is because, Coleman's right now undefeated in district, and they are a really good team. We saw them in football this year and saw what they could do, and we're like, man, we should probably start paying attention to them, and then we look at them in basketball. Right now, what they got going on, man, them Blue Cats, they have something in the water right now, or have a generation that is just a good athletes, and that's what I think we're seeing here. So I think it's going to be a tough one for Miles. Chadwick, what are you kind of thinking when it comes to this game?
I'm not. This is more of a coin flip game for me, right? Both teams are incredibly talented. Miles has been putting up big numbers all year, but I mean, so is Coleman. So both teams are playing at a high level, and as we get closer to playoff time, like you want to be playing these good teams. So like I can't even really give you a prediction on who will win because it's going to be that close.
Yeah, and also I want to note that the Lady Bulldogs are 6-1 while the Lady Cats are 5-2. So it looks like for the girls, it's one way. For the boys, it's the other way. But either way, they're still fighting pretty hard right now for those district seeds. Ryan, I'm going to start with you. Give me a prediction for boys and girls and some scores.
I want to see Miles get their revenge tonight. Instead of losing by 2, they win by 2. And then for the ladies, I think the ladies are going to keep doing what they do. And I think they're going to basically secure the district tonight. I think they go to 7-1.
All right, and for me, I think it's going to be like a little bit of a flip-flop here. I think the Miles boys get it done. I think it's going to be a close one. I'm going to say it's an 8-point ball game, but on the girls' side, I think actually that the Lady Cats, the Coleman Lady Blue Cats, or however they call themselves, I think that this team actually has a chance to make things a little bit more interesting when it comes to that district championship. So I'm looking at a 2-point victory for Coleman's girls basketball team. James, what are you thinking in these two?
I think Miles gets the sweep tonight. I have a lot of respect for Coach Butts out there, and he's this group of kids that's kind of taking on this winning attitude out there at Miles. I know they lost in football. They lost the first playoff game, but they made it after getting beat up the past couple years by some really good schools. And their head coach, Jason Wilhelm, their head football coach, he said, it's just about changing the culture out here into a winning culture. And they've won a lot of basketball games this year. So, and it sounds like that first Coleman game was kind of a throw up. The refs call it right. So, I think Miles gets the revenge here. I think they finally start, learning how to win out there. So I'm excited for them, and I think the Lady Bulldogs will win this one too.
Okay, well, there's been our breakdowns for our 4 main games that we're kind of looking at: Central, Wall, TLCA, and the Miles Bulldogs over there. We will be right back. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and then when we come back, we will do our rapid fire round.
You've been asking for discounts, and I've been asking the factory for vehicles. Well, it's all lining up. We are offering big discounts, and our lots are filling up with inventory. It's a great time to be looking for a new car or truck. We have up to $9,500 in total savings. You can only get deals like this at Jim Bass Ford, at the corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road, or 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
So the Lakeview Chiefs travel to Big Spring tonight. This is one of the games this is the only district win that the Chiefs have gotten. Needless to say, I do not think they will win tonight. They had to travel to Lubbock yesterday, and they're having to travel to Big Spring today. It's a rough go of it for the Chiefs. I think Tony Cabrera will have a big game, but I am going to pick Big Spring in this one.
All right, moving on. We're going to out to Erie County and Bront. Erie County boys are 5-0 in district. They're killing it right now. Trevin Koffel, Bo Morrow, all those kids out there are playing great basketball. The girls are also playing really great basketball. They're like 5-1. I think they're tied with very best right now, or 6-1, tied with very best. They're playing Bront, and I'd like to see Erie County win both these games.
For my boys' fast pick, I'm going to pick the El Dorado Eagles. I know everyone's like, Trammell's such an El Dorado guy. Well, I think it's really because this matchup tonight's going to be really interesting. Going to go play Forsan. They lost by 2 the first time. This is going to be crucial if they want to have a chance at winning this district title or even just getting in the playoffs in general. They are on a 2-game losing streak and need to get back on top. So, El Dorado, go get it done.
Okay, so Ozona. The ladies tonight have been playing great all season. They're sole possession of first place in their district. They play Reagan County tonight, and Reagan County's been struggling. I see the Ozona girls just putting it to Reagan County and securing another win.
All right, now we're going to go to the other team in Wall, the Lady Hawks district with Merkel and Jim Ned. The Lady Hawks really need to be pulling for Jim Ned in this one because Merkel is ahead of them right now, and they're I think they're going to play in Jim Ned tonight. So that's going to be a good one. Let's go Jim Ned.
All right, perfect. And for my last one for the girls, I'm going to rock with one of these Tom Green County teams, and that's the very best Lady Eagles. Man, are they having a very good season this year. Right now, they're 6-1 in district. They're going to have to go play Robert Lee tonight. Man, it's going to be a good one. I think the very best can handle their business and get it done by a lot, but you never know when it comes to these district actions. So for that, I'm going to go with very best for my team to watch in my speed round. Guys, anything else that we want to say before we go? Final thoughts, Chadwick?
Bobcats, go get it done against Permian. They're our rivals. We know we want this one. Get it done.
And I'm on my way out to Miles. I'm ready to see them take that winning attitude and start, turning it into a culture out there.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, wrong button. There we go. And Wall Hawks, guys, go pack that high school gym because it's going to be a good one. They're going to need all the help they can get. They got to make sure that they can't lose this one because if so, then boom, out of the district championship hunt. If they can win though, they stay right in with it, and we can see if they can get it done next week. Guys, this has been Cover 1 Hoops. This is our Friday basketball show to get you ready for all the action that's going to be happening tonight. Get you caught up from what happened earlier in the week. Plus, we gave you that great interview with head coach Dawson from Wall, so make sure you go back and listen to that. I'm Matt Trammell for Ryan Chadwick and James Bleen and everybody here at San Angelo Live. We will see you guys on Monday.